Okay, meeting's being live streamed.
Okay. It's not quite up there yet. There we go. And now we're
Meeting's being
good.
live streamed.
Okay, now we're live. Alrighty, so today my goal was to talk about all kinds of different ways to navigate. And Amy says, joining shortly. So when we navigate, we pretty much have our favorites, right? We have our Apple Maps, our Waze, and our Google Maps. But just because we were talking about it, I get to do a nice deep dive and see what else there is. And it was kind of interesting how many other choices there are. So I pulled them all up so that we can just kind of go one at a time through them. I do have a question for Medina. Do
Yeah.
you use WhatsApp for any kind of navigation? Does that have any navigation on it? Because it came up when I pulled up a search for navigation and WhatsApp did come up, but I
I,
haven't seen that.
no, I use Waze for
Yeah.
navigation.
Okay.
No.
And how did you get to decide on Waze?
Um, I I don't know. I just heard about it hmm, heard about it years ago from a lot of people.
Okay.
And they used that in Israel. And when I was in Israel, I don't know if I told you, when I was in Israel 3 years ago, I'm driving with my cousins, and her GPS in the car, it it wasn't working. So I said, okay, I'll put mine on, and I put on Waze, and she started speaking in Hebrew. So
Yeah.
Whoa.
without me even changing. And then I got back, and 2 weeks later, I had to go up to Miami. I put Waze on. She's still speaking Hebrew,
Uh-oh.
and she's still speaking Hebrew to me to this day. So I've learned a whole new vocabulary, traffic vocabulary. It's a lot
Well,
of
it
fun.
just makes you feel like you're back with family, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right,
I've
we're gonna
stopped
start.
using Waze because it got me terribly lost in Miami, where I'm from, and it got me so lost that I stopped using it.
Oh, really?
Really.
Oh my. All right, so we're gonna go with this one first, which I didn't know anything about. Some of these are gonna come up as just what's in the App Store because they don't have a online option. They're strictly set up as apps to go on a mobile device. But I thought it was worth looking at. This is a different Google Maps, Google Maps Go. And this is apparently an older Google Maps version. I looked into it a little bit. If we look here, did that switch screens for you?
Yes.
Okay. It's a lightweight version, meaning that it takes up less data, and doesn't, it might be a little bit faster when you are in a place that has low connection. Might also mean that you have less um, data. So you can see here basically what it offered, and it's talking about it in past tense, what it offered. So while it looks like, as we look on this page here, I can get the app, I can install it, they still have it. But according to this, it's kind of like, maybe you wouldn't want to do this to get a light version because we kind of are data hungry and we like all the good information. It's definitely older. That doesn't mean the information's going to be older. Like if a road closure is under construction, that's still going to be up to date information. But like I said, it's requires less data connection speed and data usage. So, possibility if anybody is in a situation where they need less. So that is Google Maps Go. Now, when you look at in the App Store for it, and you look and see, who likes it, um, well, it's only got 336,000 reviews. In the world of apps, that's a teeny, teeny, tiny amount. Let's just pick another app. I'm going to go back to the App Store. from a different way so I don't close that one or the Google Play Store. And let's look at, I don't know, we'll just look for Google Maps rather than the short one.
When I go to Google Maps Go in the App Store, it puts me right to Google Maps.
Interesting.
And Google Maps, Google Earth, it puts me to all the.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if that's because the Apple version doesn't have a Google Maps Go.
Oh, okay.
Could very well be.
It came up in the line across, but it didn't. When you clicked on it, it came to Google Maps.
Huh. All right. I can only look at that from a PC standpoint, but we will. So I just wanted to compare. So Google Maps only gets 3.2 stars, but it has 19 million reviews. So that's a lot of reviewers. I'm interested why people don't like it. And this is one of the things that you always want to do when you're looking at which app should I get. Let's see if they'll let me look at the reviews here. This works so much better on a phone than it does on the computer. So let's see, go here. They're not going to let me do any kind of. That's interesting that here they will not let me do this. Let me click on it. Okay, that's why. That's why, because I was only looking at a listing of it versus the whole thing. This is where it's going to list it all. What's new, what's fixed, features, data safety, rate this app, ratings and reviews. Oh, so here it says it's only interesting, 18 million reviews and a 3.1. So let's see why people don't like it. If we look, and that's always super good information about what is good and what is not good. 1 star. Google refuses to fix problems. It brings people to the back of the house, which is a different road, and that's not a street. This means delivery people leave packages. Okay. Oh, and then Google Answers. This is not what we want you to do. Create a post in Google Maps and they will assist you. So that is actually true that if there are problems with Google Maps, you can tell them and they will attempt to fix it. So here's 2 stars. They're not happy. And then she says, here's the suggestions. Here's how you can look at the details of your issue. So kind of interesting that they are responding to folks when it's a negative review. Positive review, they don't answer this person. She gave it 4 stars, use it all times. Occasionally crashes my phone. That's pretty funny. So this is basic Google Maps, not the light one. We look at the light one, let's look at the reviews and just see. So of the people who reviewed, which wasn't as many, a lot liked it. Some were sort of ambivalent about it in the middle there. Not too many people hated it. Here's 1 star. Star, I want to go. Good features in Google Maps. Use them. Wish I could share a picture of what my map looks like in this app. Only stars. That's pretty funny. That's not a whole navigation thing. So anyway, definitely if you are interested in using less data or you're in a situation where you're not going to have as much options for speed, then something like Google Maps Go might be a good option. Morning, Amy. She's still running late.
Is this a good time to ask a question?
Always.
Good morning.
Good morning, Amy. One of the problems I have, and I haven't found any map application that lets me do this, is once I am in directions and I hit go and it's giving me the step-by-step, if I want to look back at the whole route again, I have to end route and start directions all over to get the whole route. So say I'm driving and I think, what way are they taking me? Maybe I don't want to go that way. Maybe I want to go another way. I have to look at the route. Is there another way to look at the whole route without ending the direction step by step?
So on my phone, I assume you're navigating with your phone.
And I'm in, yes, and I'm
Yeah.
in Apple Maps usually.
Okay. I can't answer it for Apple Maps, but I can say that they're so similar that there's probably not going to be a lot of differences. So I've pulled up on my phone a route and then said go. So here's the route. And the hard part is I'm not moving. But I know that if I mean this the way it is now, it's as if I'm going somewhere, and there are all I'm going to do, which doesn't work really good when I'm driving, good if I'm co-piloting, is pulling, you know, my Zoom so that I can look and see, okay, what are the other options here?
But you haven't hit go yet, have you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you have. So
Yeah.
I don't think Apple Maps works like that.
Let me
Joyce,
grab,
help me
I'm going
out
to
on
grab
that.
Scott's iPad. Hang on.
Joyce, you're muted if you're
Yeah.
talking.
I'm not going to take it. He took it with
You're
him.
not talking, okay.
Somebody with Apple Maps.
Looking it up.
Put in a direction, go somewhere, hit start, and then tell us what happens. Can you change the view? Hey Scott, can I have either your phone or your iPad? I don't care which. How do you get the lady to talk to you? That's just a button. Thank you. Here, put your face on it. There we go.
Foods restaurant and bar.
Thank you.
I know what
Okay,
I-
so when I go to Apple Maps and
Take
let's
turn.
say I'm going to do a search to go to McDonald's in Cedartown.
Yeah, okay. I think I just answered my own question. 'Cause
Okay.
if I'm in step by step, I have to reduce the size of the map on my phone
Yes.
because it's exploded. It
Yes.
explodes to the next step. So if I
Yes.
reduce it,
Yeah.
it'll show me the whole route.
Yeah. So I can pull out and I can keep going further and further like I'm moving out in
yeah.
space.
And you're still in step by step.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good question though. And let's just see for a minute if I decide I wanted to go somewhere else along the route. Well, it's not going to let me touch it and change my route at that point. I think at that point I would have to go.
You'd have to end route and start over, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Although when we're driving, it does,
Auto
we just talk to it and we just say, Siri, add a stop. And so she'll say, where do you want to go? And then we'll tell her, and then we just add a stop. So oftentimes if whether I'm pre-planning or actually en route, if I say, okay, I want to go, I'm going to be going through Asheville to Kingsport, Tennessee through Johnson City, but if I want to go the other way up past Medina, then what I would do is I would add a stop to Boone so I can kind of see that my route's going this way, but I want to make a stop more to there's a slight lighter blue there. I can make a stop here instead and do an alternate route. And so then that's going to reroute me in that direction, but still gets me to the same place. But maybe I avoid construction. You can see there's a lot of construction, those yellow dots there. Not so much construction here. What I like to do too is play with it a lot and see, okay, if I add, a stop in Boone, and this one's actually telling me go way west, go out Hickory and then up to hit 81. Then I hit 2 construction zones. And then I just look and see, and it'll tell me as I zoom in that if I go that light blue line, it is actually 11 minutes slower before I've even, I can see that I'm getting started. This is en route. It's allowing me zoom back out, take a look and say, okay, I'm going to go this way over to here, and it'll take me a different direction. Carlene.
I just had a road trip. 4 days driving to and from Ohio with my friends. They're from Wellington, and she had an Apple phone, and we were comparing our routes. But anyway, we got to Ohio, and it was all of a sudden we were on the same route basically. We were comparing most of the time, and then all of a sudden she told him to turn, and I said, "You weren't supposed to turn here." But anyway, it took us past Wilberforce, which she had been talking about. So she told me the story about Wilberforce, and I was telling her, I think AI was listening to you back at the house because her father got to see Martin Luther King there. And anyway, so it
Wow.
said, "Oh, you want to go this way?" So it took us the back road. We still got there just fine, but I mean, it wasn't the fastest way. But I mean, AI, Big Brother's always listening.
Do remember that you don't have to do what it tells you, though.
Well, no, she told his, but she's in the front seat navigating, and I didn't, it was too late. He had already turned, so it's like,
Right. But I mean, for all of us, know
yeah,
that
that's
because
true.
oftentimes, if I'm going to go somewhere entirely different, or even my usual route, then, and it starts to say, turn such and such, I'm going to go like, why would I, I'm going to Miami. Why are you having me turn like I'm going to Everglades City? What's going on? And then sometimes you look and you'll see there's a big red line, and that means that you're not going anywhere and it's actually going to reroute you. So useful information. But oftentimes it will say, turn right here. I'm looking going, I'm on the highway. I'm not
Oh, yeah.
turning right anywhere. And so you keep going, she reroutes and corrects,
Right.
so don't follow if you don't think it's right.
Or if you want to go a different direction, you don't want to go 95 south through Miami. You want to
Right.
go the Turnpike. So you,
Yeah.
Right.
And then
Now, the other thing you can do is you can
Let it reroute you.
when you're doing a route, you can also do a filter. So on Google Maps, I have put in going to Virginia from my house. And so I've got, here's all that information, and this shows me the route. And then I look at, there's a little thing that's actually a filter symbol. And when I tap that filter symbol, it gives me options, trip options, avoid tolls, avoid highways, prefer HOV, avoid ferries, prefer fuel efficient routes. And then see toll prices. So I can, if I said to avoid highways on this trip, now I close this and it's going to have to think a minute to get me where I'm not going to go on a highway. And let's see what it considers. So you can see that it's giving me, there's this route, but then there's this route or that route. One of them is 9 hours and 8 minutes. One of them is 8 hours and 48 minutes. The route that it wants me to take on the highway is 8 hours and 45 minutes. So for 3 more minutes, I can go the scenic route. The default is always to get you there the fastest. But if you look and you change some of those settings on your filter and it's not a permanent change, you can change it trip by trip by trip. This time I want to just jump on the highway and go. This time I want to meander a little bit, and it's literally going to cost me 3 minutes. Not a big deal. And probably a lot of value in what I'm going to see by going off of the highway, going through towns. All depends on what your purpose of your trip is and what kind of mood you're in. Carrie.
I wondered why sometimes it takes so long to reroute. This is usually on Waze if I'm with John. And it's persistent, like we know where we're going and it keeps saying, turn around, make a next left or anything. And it doesn't make sense. Sometimes it doesn't do that. And also on the routes, I know with in some places, like where my brother lived in LA, people on the block would all put traffic all the time because people were using that as a going down their street and around.
So
Off the
people
highway.
would say that there was traffic to get people off of their street.
Yeah. But they do it as a bulk because it was like hundreds of cars coming around, up the hill and down around the street.
That's pretty funny. All right, Linda and then Joyce.
Sometimes the map is literally wrong because I found out that the directions to my house, if you're coming from the south to the north, tell you to turn left at the stop sign. But the stop sign is another half-mile up. There is no stop sign where you're supposed to. And the other thing, and I wonder if this is related, I checked Google Earth again. I check it every few years, and it's always had my neighbor's house for me with my address. It's wrong. So I wonder if the maps use Google Earth too, in which case some of it's going to be wrong.
Well, my
Subject,
first,
I know, but still.
my first comment is your neighborhood is complicated. I'm
Yes,
just
I
gonna
know.
say.
It is. I know that. Yes.
How many times have I driven in your neighborhood and gotten it wrong? And I
Yes.
know where I'm going, So I can I'm gonna give maps a pass, any map app a pass on your neighborhood because it's just like, whoa, really? And I think every once in a while, like in something like that, I think, okay, I'm just going to test a few new brain cells and go off of GPS and figure out how to get to Linda's house, Jackie's house, April's house, whoever's house I'm going to. And so I turn it off. I don't even look. I start getting in there. I see so many pretty things in your neighborhood, except for finding your house, because it's hard.
Okay.
It's hard.
Before we had GPSs, I used to literally draw a map and send it to everybody that was coming here, but I don't do that anymore. But maybe I should because the maps are wrong.
Yeah, yeah. And with my house, it's real interesting because at some point in time, the road got moved. And so I would kind of think in a very more suburban place like the Keys, that those things would be updated a little bit more than this little podunk dead end road that, nobody is going down. But my house, my address, my front door, my driveway, my mailbox is not on the road that my address is on. It's not. And had I known how much trouble this would have been when we first moved here, I think we would have petitioned to the post office or the town or whoever I needed to change our address. Because all of our stuff is on Tessenty Road and my address is Stillhouse Road. Because the road got moved. I don't know, 10 years ago, and they haven't updated it. So it is what it is. So I bet there's a lot more of that. Linda. Joyce.
When I'm driving, sometimes I decide I want to find a gas station. And so I'll look for gas station, and I don't know if they're necessarily giving me ones that are on the route I'm going. I mean, how do I, like sometimes I'll look for a place to eat or a gas station, and I don't know whether it's forward or backwards or 5 miles to the side. It'll just say how far away it is. I don't know if it's in the right direction. How do you do that?
So first of all, when we're driving and if we're by ourselves, we want to make sure that we're doing hands-free. And
Right.
so if your vehicle has, the kind of screen where it's going to mirror what you've got going on, then you're just going to talk to it because it won't allow you to do anything. It won't allow you to type. It should not.
So
Ours
I may be pulled, I'll often pull off at a rest area or something to do this stuff, but still I'll say, find me a restaurant or find me a gas station. And there have been times when it's sending me back to the direction I came from. So maybe I'm not doing it right.
Are you still set on your locate? Are you still set on where you're going?
You know what, yeah,
Because that's the
So
only
my
way.
suggestion with this, you may be confusing it by going to a rest area because now you're stopped and you have all options. You can
right.
go either direction. And
Mm.
it doesn't know if you have turned around and you're now going back the way you came or if you're still moving forward. So my suggestion is to talk to it and just say, hey, what's your name? um, find me the next closest gas station on my route, and it will do that.
So this is where AI actually comes in handy.
This is pre-AI, some of this.
It is pre-AI. Yeah. Yeah, it's just built into the program. Yeah.
Joyce, do
Um,
you also have a navigation system on your car?
No,
Okay.
no, I rely on my phone.
And depending on the age of our cars, I can do either Bluetooth or plug it in, and I find that it does work better for me if I'm plugged in. So I create the map first and then plug it in. Scott's vehicle has two apps. He has Apple Maps and he has Google Maps, and he alternates between the two. But literally all he has to do is talk to it and tell it what he wants. Find me a restaurant, and it will come up with, and it'll talk to him. Here are some choices. Where do you want to go? And then he just taps the one he wants to go to. So he's not doing any typing in of any commands or anything. He's tapping on a choice. So it's pretty close to hands-free. You know, you do tap on it to go. But try that next time you're just somewhere that you already know where you are, not when you're on the road and navigating, but just try it even in your neighborhood where there's a lot less chance of, anything going wrong, and just say, send me to a gas station and talk to it. Amy had a question. How do you
Yeah,
get it to
I yeah,
talk?
I sometimes I cannot get her to talk to me. And it's, you need that when you're hands free.
So on my phone, you can see right now, this little one right here, that's the speaker, and it has a
Right.
line through it. Whether you are doing it on your phone or on the car, it's still going to have that. On my car, if your car has a touchscreen, it's going to line up just like this, and then I'm going to tap it, and on the car, it doesn't do it this way. It rotates through the choices. So one of them is, it's a little hard to see. See the exclamation point? That
Yes.
means only talk if it's an emergency.
Oh, oh.
And this one is talk all the time. So if I'm in an unfamiliar area and I'm trying to focus on my driving, I make her talk to me all the time because she's going to tell me, get in the left lane for this exit, you know? Actually, she says the slip road because I have a British woman in my phone.
Slip road.
Which is kind of fun. And I like the accent. But anyway, so yeah, Amy, you're gonna get this as
Yeah.
you're going along.
Hmm.
And you're just gonna, but I had to actually start navigation. If I end navigation and now I'm in just figure it out mode, let it load up. So right now I'm in figure it out mode where I can edit my stops and I can kind of preview and see what's my route going to be, and tell me all of that stuff. It's not going to give me talk to me because I'm not doing anything yet. But the minute I hit my start button, there it comes. There's the microphone.
Okay.
Joyce. Bye. She's saying bye. She had to leave.
Oh, bye. Can I make a
Where's your
comment?
granddaughter going to college?
In Orlando.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, best wishes to her. Have fun. See ya.
May I comment?
Yes.
Do
Always.
you ever notice when you get a phone call during this navigation, then it goofs it all up?
No.
Oh, well, beware.
They should be able to continue going with navigation. she will actually, during a phone call, she will actually talk over the speaker, the person on
Oh,
the phone
boy.
with me.
I didn't find that.
And that might be a setting on your maps
Okay.
when you so if you're navigating with your phone, what I would do is I would go to settings and go to apps. And once I'm in apps, then I'm going to, and because I'm in there already, it popped up on the top, but I'm going to go to
Okay.
maps and let's see, it gives me notifications, permissions, microphone. Okay. Not microphone, notifications. Let's see, share and tag photos, allow dot, additional settings. Okay, so now I have it going into maps, it gave me a lot of choices. I have choices, yeah. Okay, so don't know, well, I do actually, I can do this. Let me back up in end route. We're not going to McDonald's. Opening up Scott's phone. So if I do Apple Maps and let me just see if my options are there. And anybody who knows this better in Apple Maps, more than welcome to jump in and tell me. Okay, not seeing it there. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did for the Google Maps, and I'm going to go to my settings. When I can find it, there we go, on his phone. So settings, back. And I'm going to look for my apps. And then I'm going to go to wherever maps is. He has a lot. All right, so can't find it. So I'm going to just type it in, maps. Okay, maps, settings on Apple. Location, Apple Intelligence, and Siri. Good to know. All right, so just because we were talking about AI, of course, now we said that, you know, you can't get away from it. Well, you actually can. So I'm in Apple right now. I'm in apps and I went to maps. And then I look down and it says allow maps to access. And then this gives me options. Location. Just gonna say, y'all, you have to allow both location for maps or it's not gonna work. But I also have Apple Intelligence and Siri. And notice there's a little arrow. So I'm going to tap on that because I want to explore and see what it's going to give me. And it gives me some options that I can have in terms of AI and Siri. Show on the home screen, suggest apps, suggest notifications, learn from this app. So Scott has them all checked. So he's saying, yes, I'm going to use that. There's options in search. There's options in notifications. Background app refresh. So that means that it's going to keep updating in the background, even if I'm not using it at the moment. It is using cellular data. It has options for downloads, for automatic updates. You can use offline maps, type of preferred travel, directions. How do you want the directions? I mean, the options in your Apple Maps, if you've never looked, I highly suggest, because who knew, that you have so much choice to tweak it the exact way you want it to be. Here's one, Medina. Now I know you were talking about ways, but there we go. Always in English. Yes, Terry, the cool thing is you can put in, oh, that's funny. Show parked location. How handy is that, guys? Terry
I'm
says
sorry.
you can put in somebody's name and it will show you how to get there. Yes, because they're in your contacts.
Yeah.
If
right.
their address wasn't in your contacts, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Linnell?
I
Did you-
just, I was talking, what was the first category you went through to get to all that? What did you hit at the very beginning?
Settings. I'm in settings. So I went to settings. So I'm just in Apple settings. And
Where
then,
did you find,
Got
sorry.
it. Thank you.
okay,
Where
what,
did you
Medina?
find, where did you find show parking location?
That's in the settings so now
Yeah,
now
I'm
I
there.
went down to apps. So I'm in settings.
Yeah.
All you Apple people, sorry, Androids, you're going to be bored for now.
Yeah.
So then I went because it is oriented slightly different in Android. However, it does have the same features. So settings, then I'm down to all the way down at the bottom, I've got apps.
Yeah, I was following you. I'm at
Okay.
allow maps to access, location, series, search, blah, blah, blah. But
Yep.
then you found something about parking.
Yep. So let me go back there. So allow maps to access. Kept going down, 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 down. It's the very last thing. Show parked location. It is literally, I can't go any further down on this list. It is
Got it,
the
got it.
last
Okay.
thing.
Mine is already open. Okay.
Okay, so know and remember that with everything with technology, you can tweak it to make it your own, make it work for you, whether it's a route that you're going to do or, how these routes come up to begin with. All right, we spent a lot of time on the ones that we use all the time. Now I'm going to go to some other ones. So we've done those two. Now we're going to go here. This one is in App Store, and this is Map Factor Navigation, which is completely different, but it is in an Apple thing. Whoops. Go away, Apple thing. There we go. And this is offline navigation for all. So, if you are in a place where whether it's in a city or whatever, and you want to have this on hand so that it's not going to change, you're going to get this offline OpenStreetMaps free monthly map update. Navigate without an internet connection in 200 plus countries. So this is useful for international travel. And the fact that it seems to be more urban based versus my without internet connection is I'm in the woods somewhere. But this one is very nice because you've got it and you're driving in Israel and you're not going to have internet connection. You might go ahead and have cell, you might do all the things that it's going to take to do cell, but you might, and this one has pictures for iPad, but it also has pictures for iPhone. Notice these are screenshots, so it's showing you how it's going to look on one device versus another. So this might be interesting. 4.7 out of only 802 people. So not very many people, but people did like it. So an option, if you're doing any kind of international travel. All right, I did put up WhatsApp, but Medina said that she doesn't use this for navigation at all. I don't know why it came up in a search for navigation, so we're going to ignore that one.
Betsy,
All
I
right.
think when it's on, like when you're going to a restaurant or something, it gives you direction, like on WhatsApp. I think we used it.
Huh. I will play with that today.
Just
I'll see, just to
I
report
remember
back.
using that in other places.
Okay. So this is Avenza map. This is for exploring. This is for going out into the wilderness. Okay. Website uses cookies. Got it or decline. I'm always going to decline. And let's go down. Reliable mapping tools. Find your location offline. I often do this if I'm going to go on a hike and I am not sure if there's a lot of options on this hike, then I'm going to go ahead and put my hike in and it'll say, are you hiking? Are you backroading? Are you camping? And it will show you all kinds of options. I really like Avenza. Scott uses it as well. This obviously is the online, but what it wants you to do is download the mobile version because you're not going to carry your laptop around with you. So you would just download it in your app store. This is another interesting one. This is an open source map company that isn't any of those. So we're just looking at basic maps. I can do the same kind of thing and look and see now what are those little symbols. So this isn't specifically showing me a route, it's showing me a map. So if I put in here, I can go here to map, and let's see how it changes it. It still brings me right here to where I am. Notice all those little,
Hard to see.
it is hard to see. It looks like a regular paper map, right?
We've been losing you on most of the morning.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't see what I'm looking at.
Yeah, no, we
Off and
can.
on.
Okay. Same for everybody else?
Not for me.
I can
Huh.
see what you're doing.
No, I can see it.
I haven't
Okay.
had any problem.
Interesting. Are you
Yeah,
guys in
been
the
going-
Keys right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
You've been off more than you've been on.
It's
And
the
I paid the
atmospheric
bill.
condition. We've got a bad storm, bad clouds overhead.
It's got to be you. So you will have the link to YouTube when I send the email. Good to know though. All right, so this is like I said, it's an open source map, so this is not Google based. And it's going to be, you know, for people who are really like maps, something kind of fun to play with. You can do some layers, you can look at weather, star places, lots of settings. So just know that there are more than one kind of map. All right, this one is called Yandex Maps, and I believe that this one is also open source, but more international based, because notice it took me to Europe. It did not take me to where I am. And I'm going to say pharmacies, and it's going to take me to Minsk. Oh, isn't that funny? Have no idea where I did that. But if I move it along, and let's say I go to Paris, and I say pharmacies, and it takes a minute, but it's going to pop them right in there as well. So kind of good for international. Let's see what happens when we come over the ocean and come here, and let's see if it finds the same thing. Yep, it does. So it's going to pop in pharmacies all over the place. So this one's called Yandex Maps. Another useful thing. All right, maps.me. This is also an app versus an online source. Download a map, choose your route, get ready for adventure. I'm not sure why I do this, other than the fact that it says #1 offline maps. So again, having something offline where you're not going to be in a place, you will download the area and it will give you what's on that area. So at that point in time, it'll be static. It won't change with what's happening unless you get into a Wi-Fi zone and update it. It has no ability to change and get new information. So that's one of the downsides of offline. But the good side of offline is that when you're where you can't get internet and you can't get cell service, then you're going to use this. And that's very useful. All right, going back to another one I really like for traveling in the wilderness is the All Trails. All Trails has so much data and information about trails. I can pick a place. I want to go Whiteside Mountain Trail. This is right near probably about 30 minutes from my house. And I go to, and it's of course it's on an app. Oh, now stop trying to sell it to me. We just want to look. And so it will tell me how long is the trail? How much up am I doing? How long does it take to walk? Is it a straight line out and back, or is it a loop? And then it tells you a little bit about the trail on why would I want to do this. So, you know, if you think, and there it shows me some other details I need to know about it. What people like about it. I will tell you, if you're going to go to Whitesides Mountain Trail, don't go on the weekend. It is so crowded. You are literally walking around people on the trail. The nice thing is that it is a loop so that you can kind of all go in the same direction and not be feeling like there's hundreds and hundreds of people. But the view is worth it for a 2 mile trail that's not that difficult. It is worth it. It is just stunning up there. The
I don't
nice
know. I found the walk back was terrible. After you
Why?
get the view, the downside was strenuous.
Oh,
Like
okay.
hiking.
Okay. The other thing that I like about that is that it's going to tell you, if we, for instance, decide we're going to hike a trail in the Everglades, you go to Royal Palm Visitor Center and you can walk that boardwalk and it's 100% handicap accessible, right? You can be in a wheelchair and enjoy that part of the Everglades. Other parts of the Everglades, not so much. So you're going to have an opportunity to kind of hone what kind of trail you want to be on. A lot of that's going to be, what your elevation gain is and that kind of thing, degree of difficulty. And then read the reviews because you may have a situation where, somebody that is Joyce's granddaughter's age, who's going off to college right now, is going to have a very different opinion of the degree of difficulty. So when you look at what other people say about this trail, look and see, hey, is this good for all ages? Or is it really meant for extremely fit 20-year-olds? You have a lot of options. And the nice thing is usually right around there's going to be some options that you can do that are beautiful. The waterfall trails around Highlands, there are many that are very easy and are paved or at least just a gravel kind of flat with a little bit of up and down. We've talked about Apple Maps a lot, so I just threw that one in there. Threw in the Google Maps, and then let's just do Waze because a lot of people here like Waze. So edit your arrival time, best time to leave so you get to your destination. Okay. So driving directions. Terry, I swear you like this because it has goofy little icons.
You can change your car on it.
Yeah. Well, you can on Apple, on
I know.
Apple and
I just
so I'm going to say home. I don't know if it knows home. It doesn't because I don't use it. So we'll say my location. Wants to know my location while visiting the site. That's what I'm going to say because I'm not using this all the time. So let's go back. Well, I thought I let it. There we go. And destination. Let's say I want to go to Whitesides Mountain Trail. Why not? The place we were just looking at. And so then it gives me a couple of options because literally you can't. So save this to the app. It doesn't want to do it on the computer for sure. I understand. I'm not going to take this with me while I'm driving, but it gives me two options. I can go out my door, take a right, and head down to Dillard and head up the mountain that way. Or I can go out my door and I can take a left. A left versus a right. You know what I meant. Go all the way into Franklin and go all the way up the road that way. That looks really long. And I can tell you for a fact that this road, because I know this road, is difficult. But if I've got to stop in Franklin to do something first, then, it shows me my other option. So I can choose the Dillard Road is 53 minutes. Interesting. The Highlands Road is only 7 minutes difference. I would have thought it was much longer. It looks much longer. And this is a very slow road through most of it. But it gives me options. If you use Waze, you know why you love it. So I'm going to let you tell me what you like about it. Terry?
I like it gives you options of in the middle of your trip to change, like use city roads, or it tells you, and again, perfect examples. We were going in Los Angeles to my brother's house, halfway around the city, And it took us there without going on a highway, without going on 1 or 5 or 10 or any of the things that happen there. And we had arrived at the airport like at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, which is traffic everywhere there. But it took us on this way. The only bad thing was, we made 30 turns. The only bad thing was it has you making left turns on some streets that don't have a light. But it really got us, to the hills without being on a highway at that hour. And we saw a movie being made. We saw all kinds of things. And also in New York, it took us
out.
Yeah, I'm
off the
buy
main
some
road.
jewelry parts.
It took us
Plus some electric.
like through, I guess it was through Brooklyn or off a side road. Sometimes we were following the highway for a mile, and it got us right on the highway, like expressway after the traffic. So those are just 2 examples.
Now, you know that if you get to that left turn intersection, just turn right, it'll reroute. You
Oh,
go,
yeah.
I don't like this, I don't feel safe. Just make your right-hand turn. It'll give you another option.
No, I know that. It just was a couple different times. Once actually, the first year we had it, we were coming down to Florida, and it said something about getting to the next town. We were looking where we were going to stop, and it said an hour and 45 minutes, and it was like this far on the map. And there was there was a backup for like an hour on 95 that we got off of. So I don't, John likes it too. So
Yeah. Cool. Medina.
We're still talking about Waze, right?
Yes.
Okay. One of the things I like about it is it'll tell you, like, if let's say you're on a highway and all of a sudden you slow down because there's traffic up ahead, and it'll say something like traffic for the next 7 minutes. And the other thing that I like, it'll tell you police ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what I don't like, because it happens all the time, and I'm usually listening to a book when I'm on a long trip. So it'll say a car, there's a car pulled over to the side of the road. And okay, great. Thank you very much. You just interrupted my story.
back to the right place.
So,
That's why I don't like Waze.
yeah, we had a lot of fun with that when we went to Costa Rica because in Costa Rica, the roads are not fabulous, but it will tell you where there's a pothole. And you can also tell it where's a pothole. And so I just went nuts because I'm co-pilot. And so as we're driving along, I'm like, oh my, and we're not talking like a little thing. We're talking like massive, deep potholes that will swallow your car. And so I'm like, tap, 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 pothole, tap, tap. And that's good information because if I'm listening to a book or crashing my tires into a giant pothole, I'd rather know.
And then Waze will also tell you if there's debris on the road.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. Now, so I can't
We
vouch
made a
for
game
Apple
out of that
Maps.
too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but Google Maps will too. It will tell you if there is police ahead, if there's a speed trap ahead, if there's an accident. So those are the same features. Amy, hang on 1 second. There will not be class next week. I'm not certain that I will be in an area where there is cell or internet. So next week, no class. I will be back to normal shenanigans on September 10th. So we'll take a Labor Day break and
To believe that
relax.
it's going to be September.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think that when I get back, unless somebody has something that's just absolutely burning, let's talk about photos.
Okay.
Okay.
One thing about Waze,
Yes.
wanted to tell you, when we were leaving the Keys, it would never show an alternate route as Card Sound. So I had to trick it, and I put in Alabama Jacks as the first stop, and then from Alabama Jacks to our destination.
Interesting. That's really
And then-
interesting.
And then I wrote to them on their help, saying, why don't they ever put in Card Sound? And then it started coming up more frequently.
Good for you. I love it. I love it. They do listen. They do listen.
Yeah, I had to trick it. That's the other thing I didn't like about Waze is it's too hard to if you want to put in from Miami to say St. Pete, it's harder to do that from Waze if you're in the Keys. It wants to send you from where you're at. Whereas Google Maps, you can go from any place you want to, because I can plan a trip that way.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
But Waze was
That-
fun to get points for when you found potholes or cars on the side.
Yes, for sure. Linda.
So-
And
We're finished with Wave. I have another thing. For those of you who have Apple Watches, I got in my car one day and my watch started talking to me and it wanted to give me directions. So I let it. I didn't plug in my phone or anything else. And then I knew where I was going, and son of a gun, if it didn't get me right there.
interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Huh. Linnell.
Someone in the room just said that she heard that Google bought Waze, and that's why those two are very similar.
That's what I have heard as well. Certainly public information. We could figure that out. Terry, last thoughts?
Yeah, when I first got a new car and I had Apple Play, it would get Waze on it, and then it changed back. It just it just would not click. It would not go on there, and then a couple months later, in fact, I was tempted at the time, we were traveling a lot, to get like an Android phone for my car.
Linda.
I use Apple Play, CarPlay, and I plug in my phone, and it's my Apple Maps. So you can choose what map you want. You don't have a phone.
It just wouldn't go there to Waze. Just was I don't know if it was a couple months or a while. There must have been having some dispute. It's like 3 years ago.
Okay. Medina.
So Betsy, when we meet, I don't know really anything outside of the Boone area, Blowing Rock, Banner Elk. So if you
Did
could
it go up
figure out
again?
where a good place would be to meet.
Oh,
So-
I didn't see that.
So this is an extenuation of the conversation that we're having. Go into Apple Maps and type in Black Mountain and then explore Black Mountain and
Black
see.
Mountain. Okay.
Use Black Mountain as an option to see what's there, what would be interesting to do there. So that's one of the things that I do, like Renee does, is I do a lot of trip planning with my map features. And so I'm going to pick a place I'm going to go, and then I get in tight, nice and close to it versus, that far out distance, get nice and close into it. And then it'll show me, here's the Wendy's, here's, the Hilton, here's the whatever, and just start exploring from your phone.
Okay. And so that's kind of a meeting point between
Halfway.
and where you are. Okay.
Halfway. Yep.
Right.
All right, gang. Have a great Labor Day weekend. If you're doing
Have a
anything
great trip,
fun,
Betsy.
I will see you on the 10th.